My fellow Americans, I am speaking today to the United States of America. We shall henceforth not be known as the homeland. We are not the homeland, and we know that a substantial number of Americans cringe each time this term is used. I intend to push hard to eliminate the Patriot Act, mindful, as are many Americans, of quotes such as this one by Benjamin Franklin: "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." In the same spirit of freedom, I intend to highlight the freedom nightmare which is the Department of Homeland Security, and shall entreat Congress to pass bills to eliminate this super Gestapo organization. We realize that police departments throughout the USA have been homeland securitized, have military equipment for usage upon the American people, and that an infrastructure is now in place, including fusion centers, which will be activated in the coming Greater Depression. We are mindful of the Great Depression of the 1930s. We see the same economic conditions operating today. We know the American people are suffering from record foreclosure activity, record un- and underemployment, and that 1 in 8 Americans are receiving food stamps. We are mindful of what President Roosevelt did in establishing the Works Progress Administration, the Tennessee Valley Authority, and other entities to help the American people through this dark period. I have fired Timothy Geithner, who worked for Kissinger and Associates for 3 years, and whom the American people rightly have perceived as part of a greedy economic system which has perpetrated massive economic fraud through the issuance of such exotic instruments as GDOs. We are going to stop bailing out those too big to jail and fail. We are going to start bailing out the American people. We are going to build solar collectors nationwide in an Energy Manhattan project. Lessening dependence upon foreign oil will become a major national priority. We are going to shut down military bases throughout the world. We have realized that other countries are not attacking the United States of America. We are attacking other countries and fomenting revolutions in those countries. We are going to be a friend to the world, and, if we do go to war, it will be because either, 1. we have been attacked, 2. with the consent and participation of other well-meaning countries, we will work to stop genocides which are occurring. In such places as in Darfur, we are firing the people in my administration with Monsanto ties, and are going to encourage and foster the local growth of healthy organic food throughout the country. Not just in the garden of the White House. We acknowledge the government's complicity in the death of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and we apologize to his family and to the nation for the military coup which this represented. We have crafted legislation, mindful of the fact that President Kennedy fired Allen Dulles and stated that he would break up the CIA. We have crafted legislation disbanding the CIA, and, since we need an intelligence agency, we have crafted legislation which makes the new intelligence agency absolutely accountable to Congress, the people's representatives. The state secrets exclusion will be destroyed, and the USA will no longer be in the business of torture, drug operations, and the interference in the fostering of coups and revolutions in other countries. Our new, renamed intelligence agency will be strictly forbidden from domestic operations. We now know that, despite its charter which states that the CIA will not operate domestically, despite that charter, they have operated domestically since their very inception. In a free and open society, this behavior is unacceptable. We are mindful that Martin Luther King was killed not because of desegregation, but because he dared to speak out against the war in Vietnam. We know that the FBI was surveilling Dr. King day in and day out. We have discovered that Dr. King knew that he could well die because of his anti-war stance. And he kept on speaking. Please bow your heads in great respect for this human being who tried to make all Americans better. We have much work to do in order to make America America again. We are mindful of the Telecommunications Act of 1934, which said that the airwaves of the USA were to be public and for the public benefit. We are mindful of the power of television and radio to benefit the national and local community, and we are appalled at the paucity of true investigative reporting and the movie and TV programming which speaks to the lowest common denomination in the USA. Since we are finally going to fulfill our campaign promise toward transparency, we are going to root out the CIA and national security state operatives within the media establishment. We are mindful of the 64 analysts on all major cable and television channels in the run-up to the Iraq War, and who analyzed this war after its inception. We are mindful of these 64 analysts who were suspended when it was learned that they had ties to and were beholden to the Pentagon and the national security establishment. My fellow Americans, there's much work to be done in order to resuscitate the American dream. You have been hungering to hear these truths from an American president, and you have finally heard the truth tonight. Finally, my promise of hope and change would be activated. Please pray for me and for this country, that we might together return from the brink of Great Depression and the national security state we have become, and, once and finally, become a friend to all peoples and all nations.